As a former CPA and MBA who first managed eye care practices before founding OfficeMate, I created the iReports with a manager, auditor, and consultant's mindset. There are certain fundamental activities I want to know. For example, doctor productions with comparisons, staff production with comparisons, results of operations, whether by patients or insurance, all transactions that affect practice earnings, trending over time, where are we now compared with prior years, and metrics to compare the business to prior periods and peers of the same size. If I was using iReports to manage a practice, I would use them in the manner discussed in this video, broken out by when to use them or team member functions. Since the iReports were created for all practice types with different needs, there are many that you will never use. Currently, there are over 50 report workbooks. Each workbook contains multiple reports and tools that provide many different views of the results and tools that make staff time more efficient. To minimize your selection choices, use the ones you need and delete the ones you will not use. Before starting, know that on the iReports.biz website, you also have video tutorials on each iReport, frequently asked questions that you can search by keywords, and a support link to email any questions or issues you have to us. Also know that we remain available at any time to discuss the iReports, tell you which ones to use based on your needs, or provide additional training to you or any other staff or doctors who want to use the iReport. Okay, let's get started with how I would use the iReport if I was managing a practice. You have downloaded the iReports, extracted them to an iReports folder, and made that folder a trusted location. First question, do you use the OfficeMate recall dates to process recall notices to patients? If yes, let's first be sure all recall dates have been updated after their visits. You'll probably find there are many that have not been updated or have no recall date at all. Open iReport number 30 and click the Refresh Data button to get the latest OfficeMate data. The first tab shows all patients whose recall date is before their last exam or RX order date. These patients should have their dates updated if their exam dates are before the recall date. The next tab shows patients without recall dates. If they should not get a recall, then set them up as a recall type of no recall or update the recall dates. Now that you have the data in the iReport, save it as to its own folder to help you easily find it again and give it a name that has a meaning to you. Just keep the number and version number in the name. Create separate folders for each area of reports you want to use to make them easier to find than in a list of 50+ reports. Immediately after you have updated the recall dates, start reviewing iReport number 360 at the end of the day. With it, you will know what patient recall dates were not updated after their office visits. Your next task, after initially getting the iReports and checking your recall dates, should be to be sure your OfficeMate tracking fields are established so you know OfficeMate is set up for valid reporting results. There are 2 tutorials explaining how to and which iReports cover this, but basically you'll use 260 to be sure your services are set up correctly, and 255 is used for products. What I am emphasizing to OfficeMate clients is to add chair time costs to services. iReports track gross profits by insurance company, patients, and much more. If you have a cost in a service, when you see your gross profit results, you'll have costs including services. When you perform an exam or a contact lens check, it has a labor cost. Know that at the time of this recording, OfficeMate was not recording the cost when a procedure was coded in ExamWriter and posted to an OfficeMate fee slip. When it does get populated, the version number will be listed in the description of this video. Another thing to think about is creating a fee slip for every transaction, even no-fee transactions. For example, each time you create a fee slip for a check, the quantity will be counted as well as the cost. Then when you see your gross profits for contacts and contact lens exams, and you add the costs for the lenses, exams, and checks, the gross profit will look more realistic. Plus, you can see how many checks you're performing each year or by patient. Anytime you create a fee slip with the lenses, add the product name Annual Contact Lens Supply. You can now track the quantities sold. See the next video on what iReports to use daily and periodically.